and she stepped on the ball.
Ooh, yeah, yep. And that's why I don't go out on a Friday night, Chris.
That's why I
Yeah.
don't go out on a Friday night. So I mean, did you catch this? This young Republic, I'm going to put it in quotes here, young Republicans chat thing that got leaked.
Now, Chris, I follow the news very religiously, and I get all of my news, 100% of it, from the statements of J.D. Vance, who is the vice president. And he assured me that this was just a kerfuffle over a bunch of college kids. Now, when you say young Republicans, clearly you're talking about men who are 18, 19, 20 at a push.
I believe they were between the ages of 25 and 40.
Oh! So what you mean is these are grown-ass men.
I'm sorry, they were in their late 20s and early 30s. I apologize. I don't want to, besmirch the name of these young Republicans.
The guy who set up the WhatsApp chat in question, I think he was like 40, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I think the guy in charge of it all is actually our age.
Yeah. So that's, again, grown-ass man.
Yeah, he's a grown-ass man. And, I that was wild because on Twitter, I mean, the amount of work that went into pretending like this wasn't a big deal. Again, it's like I'm just like with the protest, the No Kings protest, like the GOP, the MAGA folks, none of them know what to do. You just shut up and you keep doing what you need to do, and you don't even acknowledge that it happened. But like, it's so bad. It's so bad. I mean,
the texts in question were like flat out along the lines of, let's put people in gas chambers, said in jest, but like, dude, I tell a lot of jokes. Okay. I don't know if you know me, but like, I like joking around. I like a good joke as much as anybody, and I think the leftist equivalent would be like, come the revolution, ... right. And that's, so I can see a way. It's not, we're going to throw them into a gas chamber because Jesus Christ, that's
exactly.
That's not funny.
Like all. The differences between, some dark humor on like left, or just anyone's dark humor really isn't be like, I love Hitler. Right.
Right. Yeah. I'm feeling real Hitlery today. If your text could legitimately be mistaken for the meanderings of Kanye West, I feel like you have absolutely gone out of pocket. You are off the reservation. Things have gone askew, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord.
But you know what? You got to stop clutching your pearls, man. It's just what guys say. That's just how people talk. But
they said the same thing after the pussy grabbing tape.
It was.
Right. That like, that's just locker room talk. And like, come the fuck on. No, it isn't. Most men aren't like that in my experience. That's most men do joke around a lot.
Yeah.
They don't joke about raping women.
No,
People who do are probably rapists, is my suspicion. So
yeah. You don't like it. It's just not the done thing. However, the Republicans work very, very hard to make it feel like, just to try to shift that narrative, because like almost out of sheer will of force, they're dying for some kind of like massive distraction. And at that time, there wasn't one.
Yeah. Right. Which is weird. You think that Donald Trump could have conjured one up, said something incredibly stupid, flooded the zone with more shit to distract everyone from the distraction that was meant to distract from the other distraction that was distracting from the further distraction, which was distracting from the Epstein files.
But he was already doing it with the ballroom and stuff. I mean, we already had all that stuff out there. We already had, the distraction on top of the distraction to distract you from the other thing. I mean, now they're talking about the third term now to keep like people on their toes.
I mean, that does seem to be the pattern, right? Is that like, just sort of flirt with the idea of, suspending the Constitution and just completely ending the normal order of things whenever things get a bit too hairy.
It's not even suspending the Constitution. It's not enforcing it.
I don't know another word for suspending a Constitution other than, not enforcing it.
I think that if they were to suspend the Constitution, they'd have to literally say, the Constitution no longer applies, and say it out loud. That's how you become an authoritarian state, where you're just like, this document is meaningless by virtue of me.
Right.
But they're going go the legal route and try to pretend like they found some way around it and hope that the Supreme Court legitimizes their a coup, right?
I mean, but here's the thing, man. Even if the Supreme Court does legitimize that and say that, oh, actually, yes, even though the Constitution literally says in black and white, in exceedingly clear language, that this cannot happen, Trump can do it anyway. That would just be the Supreme Court saying the Constitution no longer applies.
Yeah,
like that would just be the authoritarian coup moment. But it would be like in the same way, right? That like when a king would be crowned in the Middle Ages, you'd have, like the Pope crowns Charlemagne, right? The Pope didn't run shit. Charlemagne was obviously the real power, but the Pope got to play the role of I am conferring the power upon you, and thus everyone thinks I'm cool, and this is going to be a great little partnership here.
Well, there's some more Charlemagne talk.
Well, there you go. And I think that is basically what the Supreme Court, the Republican majority on it anyway, is sort of thinking, that like their role is going to be to legitimate things. And the trade-off is that they will be somehow respected and their positions will be secured. And I think they're absolutely wrong with that. Like, because
once he's done it, then he can put them all in the fucking pyre.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, no, he could shoot them all at that point. I mean, he could shoot them now.
Yes, he could.
And he can't go to jail for it because they said so.
Official act.
I swear to God, they literally decided that Donald Trump can murder them all. And not be held to account for it.
Well, the Republicans on the court did. But I mean, my question is, like we were talking about before, has the veil finally fallen? Because remember how when Charlie Kirk died, they're like, don't call us speed names, don't call us fascists, don't call us racist. We're just out there asking questions. We're just out there, doing the Lord's work.
We're doing politics the right way, according to Ezra Klein.
We're doing politics the right way. We're calmly asking questions. And every time you call us racist or a fascist, you are putting a target on our back. And then, lo and behold, in their private chats, they're fucking racists and they're fucking fascists.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, of course they don't want you pointing out the obvious truth. Fascism can't survive if people can tell the truth.
That's true. And they're working so hard at that. But it's just this weird, not even weird, but I mean, like people on the left have always seen this. And it's only recently that people on the right have been accusing people of the left of being fascists and racist and all that. Remember, like 25 years ago, it would be ridiculous for a Republican to say, well, Democratic policies are racist because they do X, Y, and Z. And now that it's like all leftists are racists, all leftists are fascist. And you're just like,
right.
It's like the made up nature of their opposition.
Yeah. Well, there's a very famous phrase that like every accusation is a confession.
Yes.
When it comes to these people, that like ultimately, and I don't know if it's an issue of, because I mean, if you're thinking about like other people and what's going on in their heads and how other people think, right? You can't get in there. You can't actually see what other people are thinking. So you have to construct what is known as a theory of mind. Okay. And for the most part, your theory of mind has got to be based on something that you know. So it's got to be based in large part on how you think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
So the thing is, I think a lot of people, right, like especially those who are not really familiar with the problem of a theory of mind, not really familiar with the idea that like, no, other people really do think differently, and like and figuring out how other people think, that this is part of empathy. This is part of like growing as a person.
Yeah.
Right. If you're not troubled with growing as a person, you're not troubled with empathy, right? You think that empathy is, basically a bad thing. If you're Charlie Kirk, for example, then, and if, for the record, he did say that. People, go ahead and look it up.
That
was his deal.
Empathy wasn't real. That's something that he said.
Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sympathy, yes, but no empathy. Which whatever, man. Anyway, So if you're someone with that kind of mode of thought, you're not going to be considering whether or not other people think differently to you, which means that when you do make accusations about what other people are doing, what they really mean, what they really think, I think it's very likely that they're basing on what it is that they think, what it is that they believe, what it is they would do if they were us.
Which is why every accusation is a confession.
That's my
suspicion. It turns out to be more often than not that is the case.
Yeah.
So we have we can talk about this a lot more.
Yeah, there's so much.